Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. Today on the program we have an array of holiday recipes for you, all made by our very own chefs. With me in the kitchen are Carolyn Peak from Williamstown, along with Heather Fisher of Colchester, Heather's son Caden and daughter Eliza, and their neighbor Riley Salzba, and Marco Ayala of South Hero. This is our last In the Kitchen show for 2018, and before we get to the food, we want to extend our congratulations to Charlie Farnsworth of Witherby, New York. Charlie is the winner of our free drawing for the 6-ingredient solutions cookbook that we highlighted last month. Charlie, you'll be receiving your cookbook in the mail any day now, just in time for Christmas. This month's free drawing is for the book Christmas Country Style. It's in full color and is filled with a collection of articles, crafts, and of course, holiday recipes. As always, the drawing is free, and I'll let you know how to enter at the end of today's show. Well, this is a time of year filled with family and friends, and our first chef has family and a friend with her today. I'll turn things over to Heather.
Thank you, Judy. All right, today I'm here with three helpers who all picked out a recipe to share for the holiday show today. I'm going to start with my son, Caden, who's a big fan of savory dishes. Caden, what did you make?
So today I made a Mexican dip. It's layers with beans, cheese, sour cream with some guacamole on top, and it's topped with some cilantro, and we have some tomatoes here and to make a bow.
And the trick to making this wreath is to make it in a springform pan. So you have your springform pan and you put a glass in the middle to fill the void there, and then you just add your layers, simply freeze it for 15 minutes, take it out of the freezer, take out the glass and take it out of the pan and serve it on a platter with some tortilla chips, and you have a favorite holiday festive looking dip that's sure to be loved by many of your family and friends. Thank you, Caden.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right. Right over here. And then next up we have Eliza, who has made one of her favorites and one of my favorites. You can't really go wrong with chocolate. Eliza, what did you make?
I made peppermint Oreo bark.
And what's special about this? What did you start with on your first layer?
Melted dark chocolate.
Melted dark chocolate, my favorite. And then what did you go on to add?
I added crushed Oreos and crushed candy canes.
So you have a layer of dark chocolate, crushed Oreos and candy canes, and what's this white layer on top?
Melted white chocolate.
Melted white chocolate and topped with more?
Crushed Oreos and crushed candy canes.
So it's just my favorite. Minty chocolate, dark chocolate, white chocolate. Very easy to make. Once you let that all cool, you cut them up and you can display, and they just look stunning on a platter at your next holiday party as well. Thank you, Eliza.
Thank you.
And next, my neighbor, Riley, who feels like a family member. She's at our house quite a lot, and it's nice to live in a neighborhood like that where we have friends coming and going all the time. Riley made a dish to share with you that looks just beautiful and filled with lots of holiday colors. What did you make, Riley?
I made Christmas magic bars.
Christmas magic bars. Now, when I think of magic bars, I think of starting with a base layer for a crust and then just topping it with lots of ingredients. What did you use for your crust, Riley?
Crushed up Oreos and butter.
So crushed Oreos and butter, and what did you top these magic bars with?
Like Christmas M&Ms, chocolate chips, pretzels, and peanuts.
So we have peanuts, Heath toffee bits. We tried to find everything that we could in Christmas colors, like the holiday M&Ms and the holiday morsels. You put that all together with some sweetened condensed milk, bake it in your oven, and then slice them up, and they look delicious. It's really just like a ton of candy on top of an Oreo crust. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
And then my last recipe is a viewer recipe for shortbread. This was sent to us by Elaine Drake of Malone, New York. She sent in a classic shortbread recipe that's called cranberry white chocolate shortbread. White shortbread is my mom's favorite cookie for the holiday season, and I just love how we added the cranberries, the dried cranberries, and the white chocolates, making this great to have anytime, but certainly with a cup of tea or at your holiday party as well. Thank you, Elaine, for sending this recipe in. Next up, Carolyn is going to share some more holiday recipes. Hi, Carolyn.
Hello. I like all your helpers today.
I know. I got quite a few. It's my whole crew.
Yes.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to start out with an impossibly easy breakfast bake for a crowd. And this is it's sausage chopped up and cooked with onions and pepper, hash browns in it. You mix all of that together with some cheddar cheese, and I'm going to get one out here and hopefully put it on the plate without it falling too much apart. And you can see just how much there is of everything in there. Cheese on top when you've got it all cooked up And it's a great way if you've got company coming for Christmas and you want something nice for Christmas morning, you just go ahead and make this up, cook it, put it in the refrigerator overnight. That'll work. So it's a really good way to start off maybe Christmas morning, or just, you know, if you've got a bunch of friends coming to stay overnight, that's a good start for it. Then when somebody comes in later in the morning and you want to give them a cup of coffee or cup of tea, I've got cream cheese berry coffee cake. And this has, the berry part is seedless jam. I used blackberry because I didn't have any raspberry, but you can use, I think you could use just about anything that you liked. I think that's a great way to just sit down with a friend, relax in all this busy time, and go from there. Now, it's going to be lunchtime, so you say, okay, let's have some soup. So in here, in my crock pot, I have a 3-cheese broccoli soup, and I will tell you, it is good. We tried it last night, and it's really a nice, warm, it's a very heavy soup. Actually, I think it's not warmed up totally on this, but it's a very heavy, nice soup, lots and lots of broccoli in it, and it has the yellow American cheese. It has extra sharp cheddar and shredded Parmesan. If you want, then you could save some of the cheddar off and just sprinkle it on top to be pretty. But this is a great way to invite your friends in for something, you know, a little more substantial. Now, from Teresa Carr of East Barrie, we have a cranberry salad. Now, let me tell you something about this cranberry salad. I didn't know it, and I was not able to get hold of her and ask. It does not set up. You can see, I had it in a mold. It does not set up like that. It's just a thick, kind of just a sauce almost. It's got cranberries. It's got mandarin oranges, it's got an apple, it's got crushed pineapple. I mean, you name it, it's in there, and that's just so good. It's going to make a wonderful addition, and she says that it is great with chicken or turkey, so you can go ahead and work with that, and you're just all set. Now, last but not least, you know I like chocolate. The more the better. And these are so easy to make. These are super easy chocolate bars. It has, I think, kind of a, either shortbread, I think it's really a shortbread base to it. And then it has a mix of sweetened condensed milk and a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips, and you just let those melt together, all smooth. You pour it over that cookie base that you've put in. Then you just add pecans and walnuts if you want. You can put in, you know, whatever of that sort of thing that you like. A little bit of vanilla, and you're all set to have a nice dessert after everything else. So these are my ones for today, and I've been looking at Marco's, and this little boy has been busy.
You know what? It's mostly decorating, really.
Well,
but those look really good.
Yeah, well, decorating that's fair game.
Well, you know, it takes a little time, but it's worth it in the end.
Yes.
Great, thank you,
I
Carolyn.
love your teddy bears.
Thanks. Okay, so I can't believe it's already the end of the year, and I know that every family has traditions that we all have, and my tradition in my household is that my sister and I bake and cook all the Christmas and New Year dinner. And I'm going to share a picture with all of you, and that's my sister and myself making last year's holiday dinner. That's, I believe, a stuffed chicken with tons of veggies with some wine in it, and then we finished the wine, but that's a whole different story. So that's why I'm always looking for recipes that are easy to make, because you don't want to spend the whole time in the kitchen. You want to spend the time with the family. So this year I decided for something that is a little unorthodox. It's different. I decided for ribs, because everybody loves ribs on the one hand. On the other, they're very easy to put together. These are honey barbecue ribs, and you use your regular honey barbecue, and then you add some paprika, a little extra honey, and look at this. I'm gonna get all messy, but it's worth it, because just to show those, they're so juicy. Oh my God, they're so good. Besides, the nice thing is that they also work as an appetizer, because you serve them individually and you can bring them to a church gathering or to a party. And for my side dish, it's right here in the same platter, because I figured why not. They're this tiny little potato bites. They're basically a twice baked potato that has bacon, it's got cheese in there, it's got sour cream, but they're in this tiny little potato form. They're really cute. They don't really take that much to make, and you can make them smaller by cutting the potatoes in half instead of cutting them just the top-offs like I did. And then you can serve them like this, in a platter with the potatoes around, and then your family will be very impressed. I was very impressed that it came out so well, as a matter of fact. Okay, so, and for desserts, because, the holidays are all about the desserts. I got like 2 platters here, and I'm gonna start with these cookies that are right here, because, it's almost Christmas, so who's coming to town? Santa, obviously. And these are Santa decorated Oreos. They're very easy to make. You just use candy melts. Then you use red M&Ms and marshmallows to decorate, the fur lining and the little nose. Honestly, I didn't really leave enough room for the eyes, but he's just wearing his hat a little lower than usual. Okay, so, and they're very easy to make. It's mostly a decorating project, but it's great to do with the kids, because kids love to decorate food and play with it. So that's definitely a possibility for this holiday season. Now, when you think Santa, who do you think of? Obviously the reindeer. So I got some reindeer here, some reindeer cupcakes. And look at those, aren't those really cute? I got Rudolph in here, and these cupcakes are great. Not only they're cute, but they're so decadent, because you add some sour cream and buttermilk into the batter. So it just makes them really, really good. And then you decorate them with the candy eyes, and they're just a crowd pleaser. And for my last recipe, Judy, I have these sugar cookies that beautiful. Are these little snowflakes.
Yeah.
And they're really easy to make. The cookie itself is good, and then you put on the icing, and you're done.
Well, you talk about the work that it takes to decorate, and that it's worth it, because it shows your family and your friends who come to visit how much you care, because you put time into what you serve them.
Right, and honestly, in my experience, I've always found that sometimes when even the recipe is not all that great, if it's really pretty, people will really like it.
I think well done. Well, this is quite the holiday spread. As always, there are a couple of different ways to get the recipes that you've just seen. To get them online from the Across the Fence website, go to uvm.edu/extension and click on the link to Across the Fence. You'll find today's recipes and our complete recipe archive. To get the recipes by mail, send $2 and a stamped self-addressed business size envelope to Holiday Recipes, Box 188, South Hero, Vermont, 05486. Please remember, if you are ordering the recipes, to include $2 and a stamped self-addressed envelope. That address again is Holiday Recipes, Box 188 in South Hero. We'll leave the address on the screen while I mention that our next edition of In the Kitchen with Across the Fence will be on January 3rd, when our chefs will feature favorite recipes for 2019. For all of us here at WCAX and Across the Fence, best wishes to all of you for a fun and safe holiday season. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.